just to find out that the contractor deceived me. And so I did not see anything from the money, the amount that I gave to this contractor. And so I was so down. I was so down that I did not celebrate the Holy Mass for a couple of days. Why? Because at that moment, it was Lent. Unya, Lent pag yun. Unya, the gospel is all about forgive your enemies. Lord, grabe ka naman. How do I preach about forgiveness, Lord? But you know, what I did, I went home to Mabinay, and then I had this, Mabinay was my waiting room. And sometimes we thought that we are alone in that waiting room, in our waiting room. But you know, there are people who are willing enough to enter into our waiting room. And so, what had happened? My father entered into my waiting room. And my father told me, Dong, kumusta naman ka? Okay na ko ba? Dong, okay na yung mama niyo. Ayaw, dyan ka wala ka na. Mga kaon rami, tulos ako sa kaadlaw. Dong, kanang kwarta, makitaan na na. And there are still people, Dong, dagat pagtawag na ginahanglan niyo. They need you. And it was at that moment, in that particular encounter, with my father in that waiting room, that I need to go back in doing my responsibilities. And then at that moment, I realized that God has been blessing our families still, no matter what. And so, at that moment, He makes me thankful again. He nourishes me, and He gives me strength to continue in doing my mission, in fulfilling my vocation. Now, my dear friends of the Lord, that's what patience does. Diba? Patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. Know this. Your waiting season is not a wasted season. Remember this. Your waiting season is not a wasted season. If you are waiting right now for something, don't worry, because your waiting season is not a wasted season. And remember this. It's in your waiting when God works on you. It's in your waiting when God works on you. Sisters and brothers, I want you to embrace this miracle now. I want you to embrace these words right now. It's in your waiting when God works on you. If you're waiting for something, are you waiting for something right now?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
If you are waiting for something right now, then put your hand over your chest. Just do it. Put your hand over your chest and say this to yourself. If you are waiting right now, say these words to yourself. My waiting room is going to be the breakthrough where my blessing will come. Let us repeat this. 1, 2, 3, go. My waiting room is going to be the breakthrough where my blessing will come. Again, my waiting room is going to be the breakthrough where my blessing will come. Are you waiting right now? If you are waiting right now, then from there, God's blessing will surface. Amen?
Amen.
So, learnings in the waiting room. What are the learnings in the waiting room? First, in the waiting room, God is in your waiting room. Again, God is in the waiting room. God is in the waiting room. God is in your waiting room. You I could still remember during my retreat, 30-day retreat in Novaliches. During my prayer time, so for 30 days, we are not allowed to go out from the retreat house. So we were there, I was there, and then, you know, ang among buhaton for that 1 month, mag-ampo, and then mukaon, matulog, mukaon, matulog. And we were allowed to talk only to our spiritual director for 1 hour or less than an hour every day. And we are not allowed to talk to other people. So there are only 30 plus retreatants at that time. And we were not allowed to hold our phone, to watch TV, everything. So it was a 1 month retreat. Nga bisan kung layon kayo itong taas dalan, kay kung paon man siya layon kayo, madumog na namo kay sensitive na kayong dalunggan. Kay hirap yun siya kaayo. So now, in that particular retreat, we were allowed to pray. And so in my prayer, it was so vivid in my prayer. I was alone, nga nagsakayan in a boat, and then suddenly in my prayer, Jesus was there. Jesus was there in front of me. And I was just there in my painting. I forgot to bring my painting. Di ba siya lindot, pero okay na. I was there, and in front of me was Jesus. And I did not do anything. Just looking at him, smiling with him. And for that encounter, yes, I was waiting there. But suddenly, Jesus was there. And you know that particular experience, in that painting of mine, we were laughing. Me and Jesus, we were laughing. And so, don't worry. If you are waiting right now of something, if you are in your waiting room right now, always remember God is in your waiting room. And if God is in your waiting room, He will always give you peace and joy, no matter what. Amen?
Amen.
Sisters and brothers, that is the first learning. The second one, the second important learning is this. God, let us read this together. 1, 2, 3, go.
God never wastes your waiting.
The second important learning, God will never waste your waiting, or God never wastes your waiting. In those moments of waiting, God works on your character. Again, in those moments of waiting, God works on your character. Now, but usahay, in our experience of waiting, Lord, kapoy ba? Lord, I'm tired. Lord, ang sagot eh. Parati na lang ba ako maghihintay? Hanggang kailan? Hanggang saan ako maghihintay? Tired of waiting. But, friends of the Lord, always remember this. Yes, you are tired of waiting, but here, God knows. God knows that you are waiting. Tell the person next to you right now, God knows. Yes, you are waiting right now. You are in your waiting room right now. God knows that you are waiting. God knows that that's going to happen. So remember, if something bad happens to you, God is not surprised. He knows it is bound to happen. You cry, Lord, I am sick. Lord, I am drowning in debt. Do you think God is like, oh, really? Or I don't know. Or that was not in my newsfeed. Friends, sisters and brothers, God knows. In the case of the Israelites, God even declared it. Prophet after prophet said, the Lord was warning them because there were already signs that the Babylonian conquest was going to happen. So kumano na ang Ginoo nga mao ni mahitabo, mao nagdagan siya warnings. Diba? In our experience, there are signs. Again, going back to the story, this is the story of the Israelites. God used Moses to liberate the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. Hence, the Exodus happened. From slavery to the promised land. But they stayed in the desert for quite a while. After 38 to 40 years, as led by Joshua, they were able to reach the promised land. But then, kung sa may nahitabo, in the promised land, they became complacent, they became disobedient, they turned away from Yahweh and His commands, and they started worshiping false idols. The Lord was warning them that that was not their agreement. Hey, we have a covenant. Di na ba ito ang agreement? But still, they did not listen. In fact, in the Old Testament, Jeremiah warned them, has a nation ever changed its gods? Yet they are not gods at all, but my people have exchanged their glorious God for worthless idols. And in addition, Isaiah even told them, we would to those who make unjust laws, to those who issue oppressive decrees, to deprive the poor of their rights, and withhold justice from the oppressed of my people, making widows their prey, and robbing the fatherless. What will you do on the day of reckoning, when disaster comes from afar? To whom will you run for help? Where will you live your riches? Naanay mga signs, naanay mga warnings, pero naminaw ba sila? No. They were already being told, my dear friends. They were being told, but they did not listen. We might be saying, that's why God punished them. No. That wasn't God's arbitrary punishment. It was God allowing things to happen. It was God allowing things to happen. Have you experienced bad consequences from bad choices? Nakasulay na mo. Bad consequences from bad choices in life. And then you question God about it. Kada usahan na ikaw yung decide, kung yan in the end, tungkol sa bad consequence of your decision, you blame God? Diba? Kung naay dili maayo nga pakita mo sa kinabuhi, at kung muna-una yun, nga kini kabukod sa Diyos. We forget that we also made bad decisions. Sounds familiar? Like for example, in the story that I shared with you, my personal story of being scammed, I was told already by others na, uy, kanya ba siya? Daghan na siyang utang sa lain. But I did not listen. Then, there was a sign already nga she promised nga magkatod ang materialis in this particular day, pero wala yung naabot, and then on the following month, magkatod ang materialis, pero wala niya po yung naabot. There were signs already. But I did not listen. There were warnings already, but I didn't listen. Or like for example, smoking. If you don't stop, that disease will eventually spread to other parts of your body. In the end, you will blame the Lord, but God did not cause that. He wasn't the one who lit your cigarettes. God did not cause that, but He allowed it. Why? Why God is allowing it to happen? Why? Because He loves you. He respects your free will. He respects your freedom. Usahay mapagod in our journey, we start listening when we are already in the waiting room. Do you follow? Sometimes in our journey, we did not listen, or we are not listening to the warnings, to the signs. Maminaw ng magpunta when we are already in the waiting room. The Lord would keep on whispering to us, but since we would not listen, He would use a megaphone. You start listening in the waiting room of your sickness. You start listening in the waiting room of your piling debts. You start listening in the waiting room of your dying relationships, of your problems. If you have problems already, then you start listening to His warnings, to His words, to His message. Do you follow? But take note, my dear friends, that's not divine punishment. That's divine mercy. That's divine mercy. Why? God allows waiting rooms because they are good for us. God allows waiting rooms because they are good for us. Kasi hindi naman nagpagpakasala. Kunya, bad results naman yun, bad consequences naman. O nag-usahin na yung waiting room for us to realize something. And so that waiting room is God's divine mercy for us to realize on something. Amen?
Amen.
And so, waiting rooms are classrooms. Who are teachers here? Na teachers? Na nakikinig. So, waiting rooms are classrooms. Waiting rooms are classrooms. Why? Kung may makita po nila sa classrooms? Kung may makita po nila sa classroom? Well, in the classroom, there is learning. There is learning. There is learning in the waiting room. So, waiting rooms are classrooms. We are learning something in the waiting room. In our waiting room. So, now, first truth. Waiting rooms reveal that God cares for you. Waiting rooms reveal that God cares for you. For a start, He respected your free will. Second, for you to learn, God treats sin seriously. God doesn't want you to continue in sin. We learn those things in the waiting room. We learn those things in the waiting room. And the second thing, do you know what else is in the waiting room? Faith. Do you know what else is in the waiting room? Faith. When the Israelites reached the promised land, they had forgotten about God. It's just like us. Di ba, usahay? If we are in that particular land or situation where there is overflowing of milk and honey, usahay, makalimot ko das Ginoo. It's just like us. Whenever we reach our promised land, we become complacent and feel entitled. That is why the Lord allows us to fall on our knees and contemplate why such miseries are happening. Why such miseries are happening. And that is why this leads us to the second truth, which is waiting rooms reveal that God has the last say. Waiting rooms reveal that God has the last say. Kaya di ba in the waiting room, in our waiting room, we submit, we surrender. And so we realize that in the waiting room, God has the last say. But I realized that in my waiting, God was working. I learned to trust and surrender. In the waiting room, there is learning. Because it shows you that even if bad things happen to you, they do not derail God's plans. Evil does not stop God's plans. We think that the Israelites were defeated by the Babylonians. No, that's not the last thing that happened to Israel. That's not the last thing that happened to Israel. Kaya saan mo yung mga tao, oy, ako na tuloy na sa Israel. Conquered, plundered, deported. But no. That's not the last thing that happened to Israel. The Lord allowed the exile to happen Sometimes, my dear friends, what looks like a defeat on the surface is the very thing that God will use to bring you to deeper healing. Let me repeat that point. What looks like a defeat on the surface is the very thing that God will use to bring you to deeper healing. Example. Like for example, sa akin, di ba? If you are a contractor, and then wala ka daw sa bidding, and then nag-goal ka, may dako na kayo ng budget, dako na kayo ng income. But suddenly, you saw the winner at the Sunday, nag-interview sa mga senador because of what is happening right now. Unya, nakaingon ka, ay, kaya pala hindi ako nanalo. Kaya pala, well, that's the meaning of this. What looks like a defeat on the surface is the very thing that God will use to bring you to deeper healing, to deeper blessing. My dear friends, while you are in the waiting room, it may be dark, it may be uncertain, but in the waiting room, there is faith and there is surrender. And so this is God's invitation for all of us. Are we waiting right now? Do we have a waiting room right now?
Yes.
If yes, always remember that in your waiting room, there is faith, there is surrender. That God is working in the waiting. The Israelites celebrated during the Exodus, but during exile, can we still afford to celebrate? During exile. Kasi ito nahitabo sa exile, God's people moving from the promised land back to slavery. But the question is, can we still afford to celebrate? Even if we are in that particular experience. It was too painful for me to be deceived by a friend. It was too painful for me to be deceived by the people around me. Or maybe your loved one right now. But always remember that even though with that painful experience, you still have a lot of blessings to be grateful for. Amen?
Amen.
And so, in your exile, can you still be thankful? Yes or no?
Yes.
Again, in your exile, can you still be thankful?
Yes.
I hope so. Remember, friends, God never wastes your waiting. The waiting of the Israelites is in Babylon. In your Babylon right now, remember this. God never wastes your waiting. God can turn your back into good. God can turn your bad experience into good. I could still remember a friend of mine. This friend of mine, he applied to the different banks here in Dumaguete. But after a couple of months applying, she was not accepted. And she was so down. Paz, kasi di mag-uangko, kasi di mag-usimba, gabuhat mo kung maayo. Pero ano wag magigiligihatag sa Ginoo? But you know, after a couple of months, she was accepted to a particular bank. And then, he had this illness. And then, ang bank na dadawat niya, because of the benefits and of the help of the people in the company, nakahipon siya sa pag-survive sa dalat niyang malayan kung sa iyang sakit. Huwag miingon siya, maoday pants, no? Maoday ay kawala ko dawatan ito kay naan lahat na Panginoon. God God can turn your bad experience into good, my dear friends. And so, remember this. Let us read this. God can turn your first burden into blessings.
Problem into prize, cross into a crown.
Again, God can turn your
Burden into blessings, problem into prize, cross into a crown.
sisters and brothers. God is in your waiting room. And He can turn your burden into blessings. He can turn your problem into crowns. He can turn your cross into a crown. That's what Jesus did. The cross was the waiting room of Jesus. The cross was the waiting room of Jesus. And for us as well, thanks be to God that we have this Lent season in our church calendar. Kaya kung walang pa siguro yung Lent season, usahay, hindi mo mag-umpisa pinikuman. Nakatawa man mo. Diba? But because of the Lent season, and because of the kumpinsala ng bayan, makakumpisan at least makakumpisan once a year. And so this is also our waiting room, where we encounter the Lord. And you know, in the experience of Jesus, the cross was the waiting room of Jesus, my dear friends. But for those who don't understand, seeing Jesus on the cross is stupidity. Ginoo mo niya namatay sa cross. But we know that by that cross, mankind was saved. In that waiting room, there is peace. There is love. There is salvation. Amen. The cross was Jesus' waiting room. He knew in faith that his Father had bigger plans for mankind and for him. During Holy Week, we observe Good Friday, Black Saturday, and Easter Sunday. Jesus died on a Good Friday. Diba? Jesus died on a Good Friday. He rose from the dead on Easter Sunday. How come there is still Black Saturday? How come there is still Black Saturday? Why the gap? Why can it be that Jesus died and then immediately resurrected? Pwede mo na ito, diba? Inawagon. Why or how come there is still Black Saturday? Why? Because Black Saturday was the waiting room. Black Saturday was the waiting room. In that waiting, that's where in our journey in life, we also have Black Saturdays in our journey. But don't worry, because in that Black Saturday, of course, that's where you are tested. That's where you are transformed. That's where you learn. That's where you become. That's where you become strong. And that's where your faith depends. Amen? So, Black Saturday now is important. Black Saturday in life is important. Why? Because this Black Saturday is the midwife. The Black Saturday is the midwife. You know that God is doing something. In your Black Saturday, in your waiting room, you know that God has the last say, but meanwhile, you hold on and believe that God is in your waiting room. Yes, you are in your waiting room right now. But friends, believe that God is in your waiting room. He is there with you. And He will not waste your waiting. And that your breaking will bring you to your breakthrough. Your breaking will bring you to your breakthrough. And so the final invitation for us now, I hope strength. Because in our waiting, all we need to do is to surrender. Brothers and sisters, all of us might be in our waiting rooms right now. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you come from a broken relationship. Maybe the doctor's report isn't good. Maybe a dream of yours died. Or somebody important to you is gone. But remember this. God is telling you right now that He feels your pain. And He feels your suffering. And He feels your burden. He is with you. He is in the waiting room. And all you need to do is surrender. Because of that, because God is in the waiting room, we can endure. Amen? Because God is in the waiting room, we can surpass. We can survive. Because God is in the waiting room, we can come out of this stronger, better, and holier. That will be. Because God is in your waiting room, you will come out from your waiting room stronger, better, holier. Because Jesus journeys with us. Because of this, we have our victory in Jesus. We hold on to His word and to His promise. Again, if Jesus is with us in our waiting room, then we go out from our waiting room stronger, better, and holier. Amen. And so, for a couple of minutes, let us try to reflect on this particular question. For a few minutes, if you could summarize your current wait in one sentence, what would it be? And what would God be inviting you to do? What is your waiting room right now? Where is your waiting room right now? And what would be God's invitation for you to learn in your waiting room right now? For a few minutes, let us try to reflect on this question. If you want to close your eyes, then close your eyes.